All right, hello everybody. Before I start, I'm actually going to take a little bit of time to introduce myself because you might know who I am, but there are other people who probably don't, who just are thinking, who the heck is this guy on my screen? So, my name is Daniel Poppie, and I'm an author from southeastern Wisconsin, and I am taking on a project of writing 6 books in 6 months. I'm writing in the detective noir slash gothic horror genre, and I'm trying to write 6 books. The first book is coming out August 1st. And this is, there's another video. You can find it if you want. It has more about this book and why I write, but I'll recap that here as well. And if you want to find out a lot more about me, you can go to my website, danielpoppy.com. If you want to make sure you get all the updates as stuff comes out before this book is released, if you want to hear about what the book is about and different things like that, you want to delve more into the book, you can also sign up for my newsletter. It's danielpoppy.com/newsletter. Okay. And that just makes sure you're not missing anything because social media is weird, especially if you're seeing this on social media. Social media is a weird thing. And it's not always the case that you're seeing everything that you want to see on social media. I don't know why. So I'm going to jump in and I'm going to talk a little bit about what the books are about again for people who didn't watch that first video on Sunday. And then I'll go into what I promised on Sunday, what I'm going to reveal today. So on Sunday, I talked about why I read. And I think it's really important to know why authors like to read, because if an author reads for a specific purpose, then they are probably going to write to fulfill that specific purpose. And as I thought, I'm like, well, I really love reading, and it is partly the escapism. It's getting away, it's experiencing something different. But really, I think that the best analog, the best reason for why I read, or at the root, the cause of why I read and why I like it so much, is the same reason why people like to go on trips to other countries or experience new things. It's taking you out of where you usually are, and it's placing you somewhere completely different. And I think that's awesome. And I think it's awesome that reading is such a I don't know if you want to call it cheap. It's a way that you can do it without spending thousands of dollars, right? My favorite thing about reading is that I go on a trip. In reading, I'm transported somewhere else. There's a doorway to another place entirely, and I experience that thing, and I can do it every night before bed, and I can just take a break from the world. I can de-stress. I can separate myself from everything going on, whatever it is in my life, and I can just forget about it for a little bit and jump into a good book. And I think that's what the best books do. They actually take you away from where you are, and they make you experience something in a different way that you haven't thought of before. And I think I said the best books do that, but the best of the best do it in a very specific way. What they're doing is they are transporting you to a different place. They're putting you alongside specific characters, and then they are showing you who these characters are, and they show you who these characters are to the point where you begin to really care about the characters. You have an actual connection to these characters, and that is what I try to do. It isn't just about the experience, but it's also about who you are with in that experience. And the experience isn't necessarily happy or good all the time to be a good book. I mean, if you've ever read Bridge to Terabithia, the ending of that book isn't a fun ending. It's actually a very sad ending, but at the same time, you've walked through the story with these characters and you've gotten to the end of your journey. And it's similar to going on a trip or going to a different country or wherever you're going to go, going skydiving with your best friend. It's 1,000 times better with people you love and care about, as opposed to being alone or having no one that you get to meet and get to know. So this book is patterned on older detective slash gothic horror novels. So you think about things like Frankenstein, Dracula, the Batman series that came out in the 1990s that was very dark, or different detective noir novels like The Maltese Falcon. Those are the types of things I'm trying to make this feel like. I'm not trying to tell the exact same story because those stories have already been told, but I'm trying to slip into that genre, and I hope that when people read it, they do have the sense that this is a darker world, this is a darker place, because for me, I'm always fascinated by places and things that you can't always push out. You can't always get to the heart of what the thing is, or you don't always know all the information. And there is a sense of mystery. And I actually realized there is a video game series that does this all the time that is very, very big. And if you don't know what it is, you can just check it out. So there's a series called, and I don't even know why I have to tell people what this is. It's been around so long. So the series Zelda has always been a series that has so many different mysteries in it, and they do it in a very playful way. And I'm trying to do something similar, not exactly the same, so I don't want you to assume it's going to be the same. I'm trying to do something similar with a gothic noir feel where you can't get to the answers for everything. There are mysteries, there are dark edges. I'm not going to leave a top spinning like they did at the end of Inception so that you never have an answer. But I do want the world to feel like there's so much stuff in the world to go and explore and find. And then in each of these books, there's going to be something revealed about that world that is different, that is new, that is unique, that is exciting, that is different than our own. So that's kind of how I'm approaching these stories, approaching these novels, I guess you would call them. And I promised something on Sunday. I promised that I was going to do a title reveal for this, or I was going to tell you what the title of the book is. But before I tell you the title of the book, I'd like to tell you some runner-ups that I don't think are very good. Maybe they'd be good in certain instances. The thing about titles of books is you run into these titles that are from big publishers, and they're really bad titles. And one of my favorite things about writing a book is actually titling the book. I love everything about writing a book, but I really like titling it because it's a lot of fun to like list out all the titles and find which one is the best. And maybe you'll think my title's dumb, but I like it. So some of my runner-ups, or some of the other titles I thought of, were The Smell of the Eternal, and it just didn't seem to fit. It didn't seem like the style of book. The Day of the Dog, Dog Days. So those are 3 different titles I had. And now I am going to be telling you the title for this book. And I'm actually going to put it up on the screen as well. So the title for this first book is A Cur for Death. A Cur for Death. So if you don't know what a cur is, it is a dog, it's a mongrel, or it's a scoundrel. It's an actual person who's just a scoundrel. And one of the reasons why this book is titled A Cur for Death, it has that word that means dog in it, is because it takes place during the dog days of summer, the hottest days of summer that are the last 2 weeks of July and then the first 2 weeks of August. This is when the star Sirius rises in the eastern part of the sky. So that is one of the reasons, and you're going to have to actually read the book to find out the other reason why this book is titled A Cur for Death, because there are I don't know how many different reasons there are that I've tried to layer into this. All right, so right now I'm just going to answer a few different questions that I've gotten from people about the book. So somebody asked me what the book is about. I've already kind of talked about that. It is about this materialist detective who doesn't believe anything outside of reality or the world or what we see. The mundane can happen in our world, and he finds a game piece, and this game piece leads him along this trail of questioning whether these fantastical things can actually happen in his world. So that's kind of what the story is about, the basic gist of it. Another question I had is what different formats can I get the book in? And you'll be able to get the book in a physical copy format, an ebook format, and I'm looking into doing a hardcover as well. The hardcover, of course, will be a little more pricey than the other two because it's a hardcover, but I'm looking into that as well. So I will have all those details. I believe I will be putting out a video on Saturday about all those details about the book. Somebody asked why you self-publishing. I talked about this in the past. I talked about this on Sunday as well. I'm self-publishing. The basic gist of it is that you can put out a good final end product. It just matters whether you're a good enough writer and you're trying to put out a good product. And you can do it so much more quickly than if you did it through traditional publishing. So that's a question that I had from some people that reached out to me. Let's just say the shortest amount of time that you can get an agent, get a publisher, go through the publication process is about a year. I can put out a book in a month like I'm doing right now, and it would take me a year. I would say it would probably take me at least 2 years to put out a book similar to this in a month, maybe even longer to find an agent, etc. So that is all the time I have for questions right now. I'm going to be putting out another video on Thursday. Okay, so look out for that video on Thursday. I'm going to be going through some other information about the book, specifically ideas that I brought into the book, because I have a lot of different ideas. I'm not going to be able to tell you every single idea I tried to add into this book. How I work when I go through books is I'm like, hey, I like this, I like this, I like this. And then I pare down all my ideas, and then I find the ones I like best, and I try to introduce them into the book the best I'm able to. So I'm going to do that, and hopefully I can do it without spoiling what the book is. And as of now, it's not a certainty, but I am going to try to be doing a cover reveal on Thursday. Okay, I'm going to try to be doing a cover reveal on Thursday. I want to make sure the cover is done and done well, but that is something else I plan on doing on Thursday as well. Besides that, I'd love to hear your comments and questions. So whatever platform you're seeing this on, if you comment below, that'd be awesome. Or if you have any questions about anything, if you have any questions about my writing, if you have any questions about the book itself, my plans for writing, etc., that'd be great as well. Again, if you want to make sure you get this information, if you want to make sure you don't miss it, please subscribe to my newsletter, danielpoppie.com/newsletter. And that's where I'll leave you with. I will see you on Thursday.